sexual attention for relationship attention, and
Yes.
they're not the same.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, but because a lot of women, they'll conflate the fact that a million dudes are in their DMs, right? And like hollering at them. But I would say 99% of those dudes, they're going to you a couple times and disappear.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then you're going to be like, oh, I thought he liked me.
I am guilty of that. Like, not gonna lie, people do it.
MLD.
Majority of girls are.
For women that want relationships, where are the best places to look?
See, you know what? Here's the thing. I know I'm like a red pill guy and I'm supposed to like shit on women because that's like what the majority of people do. But that, even for me, is something that I have been trying to answer the question to. I can't tell these women where to find good men, but I can tell them where not to find them. Which is like
Where not to
any
find
dating app.
Agreed. I'm not on any of those at all anymore.
Any dating app, bars, if he has any kind of drug addiction, no.
Yes, agreed.
Right? Church used to be a stable thing. But honestly, I would say this. The guys that you ignore are probably going to be some of the better relationships.
Yeah.
The guys that don't even show up on your radar.
Yeah.
Because it's just, it is hard because for guys, you know, when mainstream media and mainstream culture is just telling girls by default to be sluts, to be whores, to sleep around, right? It's really hard. So that's the conundrum we have right now. Is like good women are usually trying so hard to find good men, and good men are trying so hard to find good women. Because for me too, after I became successful, it's just like, I don't even know like where to like find decent women, because like women who like you for your clout or for your money or all those things,
Who's real?
you know, it's just like, this bitch is treacherous. Like she's after me
Yeah.
for ththings that I have, not me.
Dating once you have a following is so different.
Oh, dude, I have
So-
trauma.
it's
I want to go to a monastery, like because it's just it's so. So I'm talking from a guy's perspective. It's so hard to vet a woman and find out the truth of who she is. See, I like Pam. She knows exactly what I'm talking about. And then on the other side of the coin, it's the same thing for ladies.
Same thing.
Because you're blinded by your own attraction. You're like, I like this person. Well, they did this. Like, this means they like me. But then, like, you know, when you go through a situation when you thought someone loved you, you thought they liked you a lot, and then you find out that they didn't, and then they leave quickly when they don't want to resolve conflict or whatever, then you're just sitting there like, damn, I just really don't know.
And I went through that. I literally went through that. Someone who I thought was on my team, who I gave myself to, and I thought we were on the same page. And then you later on find out it wasn't that. It was not being reciprocated.
Yeah.
And that's where you have to draw every piece of strength
What
that you
happened?
have. Without going into too much detail,
Wrong show. You got to go into detail.
I put a lot of trust into someone who, when I began communicating with him, of what I had previously been through, which allowed me to drop my guard, and I was happy to do so because he made me feel safe.
Okay.
And I think for him, it may have been what he could get, but I think the worst thing for me was there was no resolution. It was a straight cutoff. To
What
this
do you
day,
mean a cutoff?
I mean, when things kind of sort of came about, and when things really mattered, and we should have been communicating, we should have been speaking about the very small issue. It was a very, very small issue.
What issue was that?
It was a very small issue. It literally, there was no conversation.
Like,
we didn't get to speak about what the problem was.
Did you leave or did he leave?
He did.
Oh, so he left,
Yeah.
and then you just never heard
And
from him?
I never heard.
Was
from
he
him.
younger?
No, he was older.
So can I say that emotional labor, it does not come with a marker. I don't think that you can, be on a dating app or be in church or wherever, see someone, meet them, be on a date with them and say, yes, this person is willing and committed to put in emotional labor to make this work. You only know that when you come up to those situations that require the emotional labor.
I actually don't really think men should care about our emotional needs.
No, I don't think she means emotional needs. I think like, when you get to a point in a relationship where there's like a breaking point, where the both of you are going to have to endure through I'm not even trying to be. Yeah, but like when you have to like endure through hardship,
Absolutely.
some people they just give up.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And
don't
it's
want it.
and
They
it's
don't want it, yeah.
detrimental because
Especially if
I've been that
Yeah.
I've been that
Yeah.
person who didn't want to give up. I was like, you know,
Yeah.
I wanted to be committed to the situation.
Mhm.
But when your partner gives up, and then that's just like, and unfortunately,
Like, how does
that's
that,
just
I
life.
just don't understand how that like works.
Because
Like,
you're
when-
not a dirtbag. That's
Yeah.
why.
Not because you're not,
Well, no, because when I hear
Biggest bag
emotional
anyway.
labor, like I always hear that. I don't really hear that term used then. I usually hear it when it's like my partner's not meeting my emotional needs. That's what I hear when I hear emotional
No, I
labor.
think she's talking about because there's
No,
points
like,
in a
so
relationship.
what do you mean?
I would say that the emotional labor is any situation that you come up against as a partnership where there requires some either compromise or you two have to sit down and have a difficult discussion about,
Yeah.
you know, do the kids go to school here or there, or you know,
I think-
it's just anything.
Yeah, I
anything.
think the man should automatically decide.
Do you?
Let me,
I do. I believe in traditional relationships, which are a bit different than like 50-50.
Mhm.
So which basically, like, a lot of times women, we want the guy to pay for everything. We want to, like, a traditional outcome where he pays for us, he leads, he's masculine, but what you're supposed to give up with that is authority.
Yeah.
And
But
so-
can I add on to because you tell me if I'm wrong because this was your original statement, but I'm just going to add on to it. I think what she means by emotional labor is like, again, like you will get to a point
Mhm,
where you will have a hard time.
mhm.
Like you both need to push through an obstacle.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that the example she gave about, you know, the schooling, whatever, was more about like there's going to be emotional turmoil and conflict.
Could I have an example just so I could understand better what you're talking about?
Let's just say, you know, you're both at an impasse where you're just like there's a communication barrier. Like
Yeah.
you're saying one thing and I'm saying another thing,
Mhm,
right? And we really don't see eye to eye,
mhm.
and we should just keep on trying to push through,
Mhm.
keep on trying to communicate and get through it. That's what a relationship that works
Mhm.
looks like.
Mhm.
But one party, man or woman,
Mm-hmm.
the emotional labor
what's
they
the
give up.
actual issue?
But
Like,
I could
let
be-
me
it
ask
could be-
you,
it
have
could
you
be a
ever been in
million.
a relationship?
yeah, I have.
Okay.
Everyone says I haven't, but I have.
Okay. So
Virgin vibes.
well, let's take you at your word then. So you've been in a relationship. Have you ever had to make a decision in that relationship? Either you say that you believe in traditional relationships.
Yeah,
Has your
I
partner
think-
ever had to?
No,
make a
I think
decision?
I think traditional relationships work better because if you look at the history of them, relationships tend to work better in countries that have more traditional relationships. And, you know, if you look at 100 years ago, 95% of people were married. But I'll say no, I wasn't a good girlfriend. I think that's why we broke up.
Well, I'm not sure that
because-
answers the question.
Which part?
Well,
I'm-
have you ever had a confrontation or a disagreement with your partner ever in history?
yeah.
And the result of that confrontation was what? Have you ever broken up over a disagreement, irreconcilable differences?
Yeah. It was more different values though.
Mhm.
So it was like, it was kind of getting to the point where we've been dating a bit and it was either we're going to get, you know, married, take that next step, or we're not. And I just didn't see us getting married because our backgrounds were just a bit too
Mhm.
different.
And do you think that sort of unwillingness to compromise was, would you say that that's a lack of emotional labor to see where the other person is coming from and make the necessary adjustments?
I would say there's different situations where I definitely did not compromise and I should have.
Mhm.
Like, but in that situation, I think it's just picking what you want to marry.
Okay.
You know, like I think before you get married, you should weigh out what you want.
Do you think everything can be known before you get
Yeah.
into that situation, or are there instances in the relationship where you discover things about them and you have to decide at that point? You're at a sort of decision point. You have to say, I want to marry this person. We're going to work it out, or
Mhm.
actually, this is a bit too difficult, and I'm not willing to compromise on this, and neither are they. So we have to part ways.
Yeah. Do I think there's situations where issues come up and you might find out something about him or he might find out something. He's like, oh, you slept with 100 people? What? Like, I can't compromise on that or whatever it is.
Yeah.
You know?
But that's not like a compromise. That's
Yeah.
more of like a deception thing,
Yeah.
which is ties into trust. Which if you don't
Yeah.
have trust in a relationship, it's game over.
Mhm.